Yeah.
Another top story for us this half hour. In a booming city like Charlotte, parking is always at a premium. It's why the city requires new apartment buildings and office towers to include parking garages. But what sounds like a good idea comes at a cost. WCNC Charlotte's Ben Thompson explains how a government mandate leaves us all asking, where's the money?
Look at any new building here in Charlotte, and right next to it you'll find a parking garage, almost as big as the building itself, and it's required by the city.
We all love finding that perfect parking spot, but it comes at a cost.
Parking is very expensive.
City code requires most new buildings, whether they're apartments or office space, to also create a certain number of parking spaces. They're often called parking minimums. But if you look around, those huge parking garages often sit empty. And Mayor Pro Tem Braxton Winston says it's costing all of us.
You run the risk of that government regulation making living, making working, and making playing in a city more expensive than it has to be.
That's because building a single parking spot in a parking garage can cost from $25,000 to $50,000. Over in South End, urban planners point to this parking garage as the perfect example of excessive parking. It takes up valuable real estate on the bottom few floors of a new tower, a tower that sits in a pedestrian-friendly neighborhood right along the Blue Line.
That has to be subsidized, right? People pay that back in rents.
Grubb Properties is building this apartment complex near Uptown, and through a rezoning request was granted permission to skip the parking garage. They told the Wall Street Journal that allowed them to build about 25% more units. That means rents will be about $250 lower per unit. That's a huge savings for renters. But many people, like City Councilman Ed Driggs, who also chairs the City Transportation Committee, say Charlotte's transit system and our car culture still require parking mandates for future development.
I think we need to advance on several fronts in terms of offering alternatives to the cars before we start making it harder to use a car.
And this isn't necessarily some radical idea. Just last year, Raleigh became the 24th city in the country to lift its city's parking mandates. In South End, Ben Thompson, WCNC Charlotte.